When you reach 60 and beyond, life often takes a turn. The support system you've always relied on, family, close friends, the people who've been there for years, might no longer be as dependable as you once believed. When you were younger, it seemed obvious that your family and friends would be there, supporting you through thick and thin, but the reality of aging is different. Life moves on. People get busy. Priorities shift. And one day, you might find yourself facing a difficult truth. The people you thought would always be by your side may not be able to offer the support you expect. As you enter this new chapter, understanding where true stability comes from becomes crucial. It's not about pushing people away, but rather recognizing the things that will hold you up when the support of others becomes less reliable. There are 6 essential pillars, foundations that can offer more security than family or friends ever could. These pillars are the true bedrock of support, and as you build them, you'll gain the independence and peace of mind to navigate the challenges of later life. Stay with me, because by the end of this, these 6 pillars might completely change the way you think about support. Once you understand them, you'll never feel powerless, alone, or unprepared again. Let's dive into the first pillar. The most reliable support you can ever have isn't a person. It's your financial independence. As you get older, the importance of being financially secure becomes crystal clear. Money may not buy happiness, but it does buy something far more valuable: security, freedom, and peace of mind. Think about it. When you're younger, it seems like your children or close relatives will always be there to lend a hand if you fall into financial trouble. You help them through college, assist them with loans, and are always there for them. You assume the same will be true when it's your turn. But the reality is, as life goes on, your children have their own lives to manage. They have their own families, bills, and responsibilities. Even if they love you deeply, they might not always be in a position to help you when you need it most. Take the story of Richard, for example. Richard is a 72-year-old man who had always believed that his children would help him out financially if he ever needed it. He had been there for them throughout their lives, paying for their college tuition, loaning them money when they were in a bind, and offering a helping hand whenever they asked. But one day, after an unexpected medical issue drained his savings, Richard found himself in a difficult situation. He reached out to his children, expecting them to step in, but was shocked to find that they were struggling just as much. Between their mortgages, their own bills, and the financial strains of raising families, they simply couldn't afford to help him out. Not because they didn't care, but because life had become unpredictable for everyone. This is why financial stability is one of the strongest pillars of support you can build. It's not about being wealthy, it's about being prepared. It's about having a plan for emergencies, a steady income you can rely on, and a clear understanding of how to manage your money so that you never have to depend on others to get by. As you approach your 60s or beyond, ask yourself, do I have enough saved to cover unexpected expenses? Is my retirement income secure? Have I minimized financial risks that could leave me vulnerable? If the answer is no, now is the time to take action. Learn how to budget wisely, avoid unnecessary debt, and invest in things that will bring long-term stability. Your financial security is the one thing that will always stand by you, no matter what life throws your way. There's one thing in life that no amount of love, money, or support from others can replace: your health. After 60, your body becomes either your greatest ally or your biggest obstacle. The truth is, you can have all the financial security in the world, but if your health fails, your freedom disappears. While your family may care deeply about you, they can't exercise for you, they can't make healthy meals for you, and they can't slow down the aging process on your behalf. That responsibility falls entirely on your shoulders. Many people neglect their health, thinking that when the time comes, someone will be there to take care of them. But the reality is, even though your family loves you, they have their own lives to manage. They might not have the time, energy, or ability to be your caregiver. Depending on others for your well-being can leave you feeling powerless and vulnerable. That's why prioritizing your health now is one of the most important investments you can make for your future. Take Carl, for example. Carl is a 68-year-old man who had always been active in his younger years. He enjoyed hiking, swimming, and staying fit. But after he retired, he started letting himself go. He thought he had plenty of time to get back in shape. But as the months passed, his energy levels dropped, his mobility decreased, and even simple tasks became more difficult. His children visited when they could, but they couldn't be there every day to help him. Eventually, Carl realized that if he wanted to maintain his independence, he had to take control of his health. Not tomorrow, not next year, but right now. He didn't need to train like an athlete, but small, consistent efforts made all the difference. He started moving his body every day, eating foods that fueled him, and taking his health seriously. He made sure to attend regular checkups and paid attention to any warning signs his body was giving him. You don't need to become a fitness fanatic to stay healthy. The key is consistency. Move your body regularly, eat a balanced diet, and pay attention to your body's signals. Your future self will thank you for every healthy choice you make today. Because at the end of the day, your strongest support system isn't your children, your siblings, or your friends. It's your own ability to stay strong, active, and capable. If you've been ignoring aches, energy slumps, or mobility challenges, now is the time to address them. Your health is the foundation that will carry you through the years, and the more you prioritize it now, the less you'll need to rely on anyone else later. One of the biggest mistakes people make as they grow older is isolating themselves. It happens slowly at first. Friends move away, loved ones pass on, and before you know it, your social circle has become smaller than you ever imagined. While family may still be there, the truth is that they can't always provide the daily companionship you need. And this is where loneliness can sneak in. Loneliness, especially after 60, is a real and dangerous challenge. It doesn't just affect your emotions, it can also impact your health, mental sharpness, and even your lifespan. The more isolated you become, the more difficult it can be to maintain your vitality and sense of purpose. While your children might still love you, they have their own families, careers, and responsibilities. They might not always be able to visit or spend the time with you that you crave. That's why it's so important to maintain a strong social network. It's not a luxury, it's a necessity. Take Margaret, for example. Margaret is a 73-year-old woman who had always relied on her family for companionship. She had 2 sons, both of whom loved her dearly. But as the years went on, their lives became busier. Their careers and families kept them occupied, and though they still called and visited occasionally, the daily interactions and weekend gatherings grew less frequent. Margaret found herself waiting for phone calls that didn't always come, and slowly she began to feel more and more lonely. But instead of letting that loneliness consume her, Margaret made a change. She reached out to old friends, joined a local community group, and picked up new hobbies that introduced her to new people. Before long, her life was filled with lively conversations, shared laughter, and a new sense of purpose. She didn't have to wait on her family to feel connected. She took control of her social life. Margaret's story is a powerful reminder that friendships, community groups, and even casual acquaintances provide something priceless: a sense of belonging. Whether it's a neighbor you chat with, a book club you attend, or a group at your local gym. Having people in your life outside of family creates a strong emotional foundation. The more connections you build now, the more support you'll have in the years to come. So ask yourself, who do you have in your life right now that brings you joy? If the answer isn't clear, it's time to expand your circle. Building and nurturing your social network doesn't just provide companionship. It gives you people who lift you up, remind you of your worth, and make every stage of life richer. One of the most overlooked sources of support in life isn't another person. It's your own sense of purpose. After 60, many people experience a shift. The roles that once gave life meaning, being a parent, a worker, or a caregiver, start to fade. Retirement sets in, children become independent, and life slows down. Without a clear sense of direction, it's easy to feel invisible, unneeded, or even lost. The truth is, no matter how much your family loves you, they can't give you purpose. That's something only you can build for yourself. Having a reason to wake up in the morning, whether it's a passion, a project, or a goal, keeps your mind sharp, your emotions steady, and your life fulfilling. Purpose is what keeps you engaged with the world instead of just sitting on the sidelines. Think about someone like George, a 70-year-old retired engineer. After leaving the workforce, George was excited to relax. But after a few months, he began to feel restless, like something was missing. His days felt empty. His children visited occasionally, but they had their own lives, and George didn't want to be a burden. That's when he decided to take action. He started volunteering at a local school, teaching young kids how to build things. Before long, he had a new reason to get up every morning. He felt valued, useful, and engaged with life again. Purpose doesn't have to come from a job. It can come from anything that makes you feel alive. Whether it's learning something new, mentoring others, gardening, painting, traveling, or setting personal goals, it's about doing things that bring you joy and keep you mentally and emotionally active. If you've been feeling like your best days are behind you, it's time to shift that mindset. Your purpose doesn't disappear as you age, it evolves. And the more you invest in finding meaning in your daily life, the less you'll need to rely on others for happiness. At the end of the day, the strongest support you can have isn't someone holding your hand. It's the fire inside you that keeps pushing you forward, helping you grow and find new reasons to enjoy life. Life has a way of testing you, no matter how old you are. After 60, the challenges don't stop. They simply change. Friendships fade, loved ones pass on, health issues arise, and sometimes life feels lonelier than it used to. No matter how much support you have from others, the most reliable source of strength will always come from within. Your ability to adapt to life's curveballs, process emotions, and find peace in difficult moments is what keeps you moving forward, even when everything feels uncertain. Too many people rely on family to be their emotional support system, believing that their children, siblings, or extended relatives will always be there to comfort them. But the reality is that everyone has their own struggles to deal with. They may want to help, but they might not always have the time or energy to offer the emotional stability you need. This is why building emotional resilience is so important. It allows you to find strength within yourself, rather than constantly depending on others for emotional support. Take Helen, for example. Helen is a 75-year-old woman who lost her husband after 40 years of marriage. At first, she leaned heavily on her children for emotional support. They loved her deeply. But as time passed, she realized that while they cared, they had their own families and responsibilities. She couldn't expect them to fill the emotional void she felt. Instead of letting grief consume her, Helen decided to focus on strengthening herself emotionally. She joined a support group, started journaling, and practiced daily gratitude. Over time, she discovered something powerful. She didn't need someone else to fix her sadness. She had the strength to heal on her own. Emotional resilience isn't about suppressing your emotions or pretending to be strong all the time. It's about acknowledging your pain, processing it in a healthy way, and developing coping mechanisms that allow you to navigate life's ups and downs with grace. It's about having outlets, whether it's writing, meditation, therapy, or simply self-reflection, that help you find peace within yourself, instead of relying on others to provide it. No matter what life throws your way, the ability to stand strong on your own will always be one of your greatest sources of support. The more you cultivate emotional resilience, the less you'll feel dependent on others to make you feel whole. At the end of the day, the person who will always be with you through every hardship and triumph is you. If there's one truth about life after 60, it's this: nothing stays the same. People change, circumstances shift, and the things you once relied on may no longer be as dependable as they used to be. The key to thriving during this stage of life isn't holding on to the past. It's your ability to adapt. Those who struggle the most with aging are often the ones who resist change, who cling to what was instead of embracing what is. But those who learn to adjust, stay open, and welcome new possibilities tend to find joy and fulfillment no matter what life brings. They find ways to grow rather than letting change defeat them. Take Frank, for example. Frank is a 78-year-old man who had always relied on in-person friendships to stay connected. When many of his friends moved away or passed on, he initially felt lost. He thought, "I guess this is just how it is when you get older." But instead of resigning himself to loneliness, Frank decided to adapt. He learned how to use video calls to stay connected with distant family, joined an online discussion group about history, and even made new friends in the process. Instead of feeling defeated by change, he allowed himself to grow with it. The people who thrive after 60 aren't necessarily the ones with the most resources or the strongest support systems. They are the ones who refuse to be stuck in their ways, who remain curious, and who find new ways to adjust, no matter what life throws at them. If a door closes, they look for another. If a relationship changes, they find new ways to connect. If something no longer works, they are willing to try something different. Your ability to adapt is one of the greatest pillars of support you will ever have. It allows you to navigate life with resilience, optimism, and confidence. And the more you embrace change instead of fearing it, the less you'll feel like you're losing something. And the more you'll realize that every stage of life offers something new to gain. Reaching 60 and beyond is a stage of life that comes with both wisdom and its own set of challenges. While family will always hold a special place in your heart, the truth is that the most reliable support you can have isn't found in others. It's found in the foundation you build for yourself. Your financial stability ensures that you never have to rely on someone else to get by. Your physical health determines whether you can maintain your independence and freedom. Your social circle keeps you connected, engaged, and emotionally fulfilled. Your sense of purpose gives your life meaning and direction. Your emotional resilience strengthens you against life's inevitable hardships. And your ability to adapt allows you to thrive, even when things don't go as planned. If you have these 6 pillars in place, you will never feel completely alone. You will never have to beg for support, feel helpless in difficult times, or wait for someone else to step in and save you. True stability doesn't come from hoping others will be there for you. It comes from knowing you are already prepared to stand strong, no matter what life brings your way. Thank you for joining me today. I would love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, and reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.